most for his
Which I
team.
really
like,
did not
I feel
like,
like
'cause they had
Mixwell
two
is
duelists.
smart enough to play any agent. He can play a Sentinel, he can play an Initiator, doesn't even matter. You can put him on Viper as well. But I feel like Colamenta needs to be leading the team in order for this all to work. So I think it's the right call, especially if you're going for a double duelist.
Yep, Silver Sky as well on the side of G2. More information, less duelists. They want to play the information
Nuki
game. They're
can
on defense
pop off
first.
on Raze.
It's basically trying to catch up what Giants are trying to do.
Well, this is a very, very, very big map here. G2, they're pulling out all the stops, and they have to win here if they want to stay in this series. Tom and Mitch, over to you.
Well, Tom, you can buy a roster, but you can't buy wins. And I know Carlos isn't going to be all too happy about what's going on right now. I think that, there's a couple of things that need to be addressed when it comes down to the agent select as well, though.
Shame he was AFK for that.
Going on here. Astra pulled out, but you were a little bit surprised by Kellogg's, weren't you?
Yeah, I think Kellogg's was on Sage, and unless I've completely missed that one and somehow seen it wrong, I don't think he's ever played a Sage on G2. I think he's played it once before in his entire career, but for this roster, that's something that they basically just switch up because they did previously have it within the team. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one actually works out for them, but realistically, when you're sort of that aggressive player, he can make it work on a Sage.
Yep, you most definitely can. And let's see if he can. We're going on to Bind. Map number 2. Map advantage for Vodafone Giants after they picked up Icebox. If they win this one here, they will stop G2 from competing. Full stop. VCT will be over for them for the year, Tom. And that is a disturbing thought, considering this G2 roster is so promising and features so many players from tier 1 organizations having been poached up. We're starting out the pistol, and Vodafone Giants are on the attack, and they are certainly looking to up the pace, going straight into the A site.
Ooh, nice start from Mixer, good flash, but it's only going to be the trade, and already things getting a little bit dicey. A back and
frenzy,
forth battle
man.
with both
I
teams
can't believe
finding a
Giants
couple of
still
kills,
use
but
it.
ultimately this allows for the
Dude,
afterplant
famous
to come
birthdays
through for
just
Giants.
tagged me, like the official Twitter account.
The
Tagged me and said, "Happy birthday, AVERAGEJONAS." And I was like, "It's tomorrow, but thanks a lot."
The flash doesn't buy them much space. Never mind. They follow up over towards the spawn and Colamenta as it all.
Because on their webpage it says 19.
Vodafone Giants pick up that first round, and wow, I mean, after watching the last bind we saw was Gambit, it feels so strange.
I know, because
to see someone just rush
someone
the site
put it
like
on
that.
famousbirthdays.com that my birthday's the 19th.
Have like a million incredibly slow rounds.
But it's not.
It's definitely not expected for a team to just blast it straight through. But I almost like it. Just go for something a little bit more simplistic. Hoodie looking a little bit different. I do think that we're having a few issues with the cams, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. I'm pretty sure those are very backwards at the moment, so I'm sure that'll be something that is fixed within the moment.
It says that my birthday is the 19th.
David P is looking great. I like his glasses.
Nice glasses.
Maybe that was always the problem. He wasn't playing with them. Needs to fix that up.
Oh my
God,
wow.
This is classics. They've ran through a smoke versus classics, and I mean, they got what they deserved.
They win this round, actually.
That
That's
shouldn't
insane.
have happened. Let's see if they can actually
Nobody
recover it,
cares,
because none of the
Keep
weapons
being
have actually been
cringe-lord.
retrieved.
Hey,
So it
dude.
is still mostly just
Would you like,
classics.
a
Going
free
back
ban?
around to long is going to
I'm
be a
actually
little bit
giving
more
out right
difficult,
now.
although we do still see this rifle in the hands of Hoodie. He could just turn this round on his head, and in fact, that's exactly what he will do! Just shutting them out. That is so important.
guy has-
yeah, it's pistols, yeah, it's a triple
This
kill
guy has
versus
13
them, but
messages
considering that was
in
a
my
4
chat.
versus 2,
One of
that
them
is
being,
huge
"You
for the
have
squad.
gained weight."
Yeah, they were looking down and out. It is not the ideal scenario.
I mean,
Are
did
you
they
okay?
start
Around,
around on
you would've
Twitter?
wanted them to
Are you
lose no
okay?
more than
Something
one
seems
player.
off.
But
Are you
considering where
okay?
they
You've
ended up,
gained
we'll
weight.
celebrate the win. With Hoodie
You're a cringe lord.
completely destroying them on this.
Your mom.
Again, if they had rifles, he was dead.
like
I
a-
mean, he was dead
sounds like
there
an
if they
angry-
had a rifle, but
Invasive mother.
thankfully this time around they
okay?
didn't.
Everything alright?
And a
Okay,
lesson
Axel, just
learned,
ban him,
one
man.
would hope, for Vodafone
Get him,
Giants is
Axel.
they don't
Ban him.
really have the option to play a bonus. Okay, I guess they do. They're going to play with
Thank
2
you.
rifles, a Vandal and a Phantom. And then they've got pistols and a Spectre to back them up. This is a very mixed buy. We'll see what opportunities they can create with those bigger rifles.
Oh,
Yeah, now we get to
why?
see if it will mix well. Haha. It's going to be
Look at
Meadow
me do these
already
aggro
finding
peaks.
the opener. If I just keep casting, you can't be frustrated. Just keep talking and
I will
talking
be.
all the way through.
You could talk for this whole map, and I would still be pissed off at what you just said, Tom. That has annoyed me.
I'm glad. That was the goal. Shock dart, not actually going to really achieve anything here. So again, it's going to be an afterplant scenario. A man down.
Oh, wow.
Good spray coming out from Avova. A couple of kills back, turning this into a 2v2. But considering this is somewhat of a bonus round, to have it on an even front really isn't bad.
Oh, wallbang?
That plant isn't great either. These guys are going to have to just wide swing out.
Okay,
There
that
we
makes
go.
sense.
Orbital strike's going to be activated. Okay.
The back
They're
corner
comfortable
was
buying
actually
themselves
free
a little
there.
bit of
Yeah.
extra time. Now
Last player
the
standing.
swing comes in. Nice and easy. Nukia in a 1 versus 2.
Oh my
He's so
god.
quick on this. The spin is there. He's gotten it done.
Dude,
Has he got enough
he's
time,
actually
though?
fucking
It is
insane.
ticking quite quickly,
Yeah,
but I
fine.
think he's just about got it.
Nice.
Oh
That is
my.
ridiculous. They had a
God.
crossfire, Tom.
He's
How
so
do you-
good, man.
How do you win that?
Yeah. He just
How do you
180'd,
win that?
180'd straight back around, knew exactly where the other player would be. Unbelievable stuff from Nuki. He has been long considered one of the best players in Europe, and these are the exact reasons why. He had no right whatsoever in winning that round. I am quite surprised, though, that if you've got a player in David P looking the other way, I know they could have lined up. You have the turret as well. I feel like just having your back there is so risky, so reliant on that kill. But as I said, like, it's just ludicrous stuff coming out from the likes of Nuki. Yeah, you know, a little bit of a tickle.
Nice little shocky
How did you
shot
know the
from
other one was
Gordamenta.
behind him? It's
I
called
like it.
using your brain.
Beautiful stuff.
Scanning ahead.
If it's a
Hype
2v1,
Up
you
really
always
ruined
hold a
my day yesterday,
crossfire.
Tom. You know that? I was making a
that?
good joke about how there's no PUBG players really in Valorant, like at the top level. And I obviously know Coldamenta from my time in Battalion, where he was competing,
Thank you,
but
Digital
he
Siren.
actually played PUBG as well.
Oh, and he's one of the serial
Nice.
players of your favorite
Oh.
gun.
But that's why I forgive him. I forgive him for that.
the Odin can forgive any of your previous
Of course they
sins.
crossfired.
Well,
They managed to do a pretty good job considering the opening
What do
duel
you
was
mean?
taken with a Spectre and they're already out. I mean, Vodafone
No,
Giants
they
are
didn't have a crossfire. They
kind of
was looking the
struggling
other
to
way.
get anything here. Showstopper out, not much damage done,
Because
but
they
they're
thought they would come from
spraying
over.
away to save the day. We're tied up at
Wait,
2
who
to
was
2.
looking the other way?
yeah, nice round. That was actually a much worse
Killjoy.
purchase for G2 as well.
Oh, yeah,
'cause
but
they
he-
had to
but he
reinvest into
turned
so many
around
of the
when the
weapons
other
after
guy
the
was
clutch
shot.
that Giants
Yeah,
still
yeah,
had enough
but
cash
they
to
weren't
actually
holding
buy.
their
So the fact
crossfire.
that
Oh, I
they
see what you mean.
went out
Okay,
with four
okay,
players
sorry.
alive is impressive.
I
and
misunderstood to my bad.
Well, it's been a bit of a slow start to some of the players that you're usually almost waiting and watching for when it comes to this Giants roster. Like Coutinho on this map has been a force to be reckoned with. I do remember a lot of what he was able to do being on the defensive side, but even still,
Get some momentum.
basically the hard entry for this team a lot of the time. So if he's having a poor map, well,
Carlos
we
is
could be heading
AFK
to
chat.
3.
The next map would be where David P would shine, right? On those little flank plays. I saw Vodafone Giants put out a tweet in between the previous map and this, and they were saying it was like a Simpsons thing
No,
where they're
no,
looking back in the
no.
car.
Are you
and it's
kidding?
G2 looking back, and David P's just stood there. Nice shot by Dave.
Oh.
Oh, he's getting challenged. He's still alive.
Oh my god, if he got one more.
Lighting Nukia down to very low HP,
Oh
just
my
40
God.
remaining, but it looks like they're cleaning up the rest of these kills for now at least.
Yeah, the problem is the Sheriff versus 2 of the players now is as deadly as any other weapon
Oh,
you
this
will
is good
find.
for
It really is just Coldamenta and Nuki on their last legs, and they're reliant on Evolve.
Oh
and
my God,
that
that's a big
Hunter's
ult.
Fury is actually perfect. It's done so much damage, and
Oh,
I think
wow.
because of it, they don't even
Nice.
realize that there's an extra player here. A costly round for G2, but a victory nonetheless. And while Vova's having a great time.
You know, understandable. With 3 on the board now, G2 are feeling pretty good. Take a look at this little replay coming up. Yeah, as we were talking about, right? You gotta watch your back for David P. It's his former team.
I'm typically the one responsible for restocking, for towels, toilet paper, drinks. We go through those very quickly. I initially drove when I first moved down here, going in person to the stores all the time. Ever since I discovered
Giants with it. I love that he manages to avoid all of these shots from Nukia as well, dealing quite a bit of damage. But it wasn't enough. And I think, like, for G2, realistically, a gap like that,
Interesting
it's
wall.
not in a round where you're up against pistols. To let him walk all the way into lamps and blindside you,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm quite afraid if David P feels that comfortable that early on.
Oh, they know.
Gone for a few wall bangs, expecting this aggressive position to be in play. Of course, a new role being picked up for Kellogg's, one that we'll see if it's something that works out. I will say that a lot of very competent duelists manage to make Sage work like it's like, well, almost one of the agents they've been playing for years. So I'm not too worried for him just yet. Might mean that he has to be slightly more passive, and on the attacking sides maybe a little bit more reliant on Nuki to be that hard entry, which is something he hasn't had to do too much within this roster. Like, a lot of the time he is the second, third player in to almost clean up and clutch the round, so we'll see how that dynamic works. For now though, David P dead, and the rest of the team looking to pressure Hookah.
Oh, Kellogg's has even lit up the second player coming out, so it's so much easier to take down Fatino. Vodafone Giants left with no hope, really, to spike down inside of Hookah and a 2v5. So saving, definitely the correct call. G2 set to take a 4th round on the board. I mean, they use Cosmic Divide. It's not that big of a deal, but what I'm looking at here is Vodafone Giants and how close they are to having every single ultimate online.
Birthday
And
months.
with the composition that they're running, and we had this conversation last time we covered Vodafone Giants, their ultis are
I'm not gonna say
incredibly
it
valuable.
until 3 hours
Yeah,
from now.
I think you'd be hard.
I just find it funny
find
that
a combination of ultimates that are
famousbirthdays.com
more
tags me and wishes me happy
valuable
birthday
than the ones they
on the
currently
day
have.
before.
Maybe you could throw a Blade Storm in there.
I don't
every
know
once in a while,
why.
but other
Maybe
than
I
that,
did like a
especially on a map
birthday
like this,
stream
like,
and there
I
was
can't
like a
think of
time zone thing or
a
something.
composition that
But
would
there's like a
benefit
several
in that
web
regard,
pages
at
that
least.
show.
Then again, you could say similar for the other side,
wrong date,
excluding maybe
basically.
that Cosmic Divide, because
Are you sure you've got the right
not as
date?
impactful as the
Yeah.
rest within the server. So
True.
we'll see. There's also a res online for Kellogg's as well. That's always the other added benefit of when you're running that Sage on your duelist, is chances are they're going to get quite a lot of kills. That means you get more ability to actually come in with reses and retakes. So especially on the defense, it's going to be quite valuable for them. But I think Giants realizing,
Maybe they will fix
okay,
it
let's
now.
not let this one get out of control. I think G2 are one of the best teams right now at just absolutely steamrolling people when they get in the lead, especially with the caliber of players they have. So Giants want to stop this as early as possible because this is their map choice. If they win it, they're on their way to Berlin.
I'll probably do like a little Beat Saber session
just
into
as
the
you said,
nightly
the
hours.
Sage on your duelist on a Sage. It's that I don't feel like a lot of the time in the previous map, I don't feel like Jet really benefited him that much. As in, like, I think he's bringing a lot more value on the Sage and not really losing that much individually. Like, sure, a little bit of mobility, but how often did that mobility actually come into the equation when it came down to Icebox?
Back in we go. Looks like G2 are going for a hell of a lot of early information. Deep stars placed with the nebula, or a smoke as most people would call it. And already going through the teleporter and taking over bathrooms control. In other words, Giants have no map control, so they're going to have to earn it back. One of the ways they're going to do that is forcing Mixwell out of the corner. Now, they have the gravity well to try and at least slow them down a little bit, but other than that, there's not a lot defending this site.
So you said nebula and people normally call it a smoke. What do people call the gravity well?
I can't say that. Only Hypox allowed to say that.
It's more of a command when he says it more than an ability.
All right.
4-2. What? He calls it the back off ability, right? It's just back off. Stay back.
Of course.
Yeah, that's it. Anyways,
What am I listening
Vodafone Giants already lost
didn't get
Fatino
it.
through the
I
smoke.
didn't
They're
get the
pushing into the
reference.
side, though. They dropped down. They're locked down.
I
and
see.
It should be a nice, easy plan for them. Problem is, there's an early flank from Nukia. He is right up behind. This teleporter going to take the majority of their focus when it comes to players coming up behind them. And he has a chance, an opportunity. The alarm bot reveals him, but he still gets away with one. Sadly uses the blast pack right after, but it might not matter. The rest of the team flooding in to help and overrun these final remaining attackers. That shock dart,
Sick.
painful to watch as it lands clean on Meadow.
I'm actually so
David
happy
P
they switched up their
smoked
comp. This
And
is
as they spray,
100 times better.
now they know both
Just
players are
fucking
on long.
defuse.
Look at this. It's a firing squad. The Nebula about to go down, and this is where David P is going to be in trouble. It's already halfway diffused. How is he still alive?
I
He's shot
don't
up by
know.
so many players. He's gotten out of there as well. What?
I don't really understand how he managed to basically just duck and weave, but I guess that is the most David P thing ever. It's just like
Oh
surviving in
wait,
positions that he never ever should.
0607.
But they don't
Oh,
manage to win
God.
the round. And I think just the movement of where the position was
Rough.
actually being
That's a
diffused
yikes
from
and a
basically
half.
made it impossible, even with the pings currently being down on the map. But yeah, considering I sort of mentioned it, they have a lot of powerful ultimates, and they used 2 of them in this round to just get site control. That's how difficult it's been for Giants so far. They not only used an orbital strike, they also used a lockdown just to get the plant.
Yeah. And lose immediately after. You know, I noticed that G2 always like to keep an eye during the games. They popped out a tweet leading on a map for once and then a thumbs up. So congratulations to the G2 Esports team for probably cursing their team once more. It's almost as bad as Jonas. And look at this. As we're talking about it, G2 are under a lot of pressure. The nade and Molly taking Coldamenta down. And he did find 2 before he fell, putting this into a winnable position for G2. But it's getting a little bit more difficult now that the info is being given away.
Yeah, the Seekers has given absolutely everything, and they're probably one of the most valuable positions because both were on the flank. It means that they can actually play into the defender's spawn. Now, Nuki trying to fake them out with the sounds, but it hasn't worked at all. And as they try and bait with the rares, Kellogg's has to get a kill instead. He's left completely blind. He just sacrifices Mixor and gets nothing in return. Solid round from Giants as they will get themselves a 3rd.
And at this very moment, I can already sense the sweat starting to form on the brow of the social media manager from G2. What a good play by
You know how the
Coldamenta,
Mac
though. He
Pro,
knew he was
you know
dead
the
standing
black
inside the
one
nade,
that
but
looks
it
like
was
a
well worthwhile
round
to find that
chimney?
double kill.
You
The
seen it?
bin.
Yeah, yes.
Even despite that,
Yeah.
G2
I
not
took a
walking away with the
picture of
round.
one
We
of
have
those bins at the gym. I'm gonna
2
tweet it
rockets
right
coming
now.
into this round.
Glad
The
to see they
showstopper
finally
for
found a
Fatino
great
and
use for the
Dukia,
Mac Pro
both
at the
online.
gym.
I could see this being a point man for Fatino.
To be fair, they are
Yep, there you
insane.
go. He's going to be just rushing in towards
Yeah.
Nukia,
Like,
who
for
pops
workstation
up
PCs.
and tries to one
There's
up.
nothing
Both
better.
getting tagged up a little bit, but it is definitely Nukia that ends up on the downside of that engagement. In fact, I noticed Fatino didn't even get hit. He was way ahead of it on the blast pack out.
Yeah, the thing is, though, we've seen double ultimates utilized here from Giants, and they've gained nothing. Like, they've thrown in a showstopper,
Anime
and they actually
battle.
used a Hunter's Fury in the mix of all of that. And it hasn't really helped them out at all.
Well, further trouble, they've ended up losing Hoodie.
Chat,
so.
what do you think about
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Yeah,
meme
not great.
tweets?
That shock dart again
Have you
coming
seen the
through,
Mac
great
Pro?
angle caught by our observers here. You can see it bouncing off the arch and landing right on Ambi for some big damage.
Oh wow, that looks really like it as well.
Vodafone
Yeah, I
Giants
know.
are just being chipped
It's
away
even
at.
got, like,
They've
the
lost a
shiny
player, they've
top.
lost HP. And for their trouble, Tom, they've lost all of the map control too. So it's quite tough, actually.
Yeah, they've only been going B thus far. Like,
30
it's been
seconds
B
left.
site execution after B site execution, so there haven't really been too many early rotations. Although I say that, Coldamenta actually starts running in the wrong direction. Now, they've still got 2 players here, and more importantly, they fully think this is an A take, because Nuki's gone pushing all the way around. So there's almost has to be a retake on this side of the map. Avova's just trying to hold on to Elbow.
10
If he
seconds
goes
left.
down here, it really isn't worth it, but luckily for them, he's going to fight, and he's going to win at least 1 duel. Now the remaining player's going to come back in through Hooker, and they don't know how far forward the other couple are. David P caught completely out of position, and now they can even heal up onto Nuki. It won't help him out as the bullet
Andy's got a kill.
takes his
He's
head clean off, but the
activated.
diffuser's already started. They're just sticking this all the way. The plant is in a horrible position, and it's all too easy for G2. Even after making the wrong call and giving up the site, the retake is flawless.
The amount of diffuses just being stuck today is ridiculous, and the success rate on it as well. I guess pros, some of them do fake, but maybe not for much longer the way things are going. At 6-3, G2 pick up another, and their streak of 5 rounds sees a return with a 6th. And I think at this point as well,
That
they have
plant?
Seekers to play with, and they're just about to get Hunter's Fury on.
I guess they
They're
didn't
in
feel
a
safe.
really, really solid spot. I mean, Vodafone Giants playing it slow. Oh, here we go. The wall's going to be broken up. I don't really see slow play as an option here if they try to sell fakes like they have before. G2 don't see slow play as an option either. Look where Nuki is. He's going all the way down middle, looking for David P, hunting him down.
He does the steam
And he's got him
shit
as well.
on every map,
Waiting
Nicky.
for that push, but it doesn't matter. Oh, the timing could have been perfect for Kellogg's. Just a split second too late to actually catch that kill, but they won't mind. They've already got themselves the advantage, a change of pace as well, because Giants have been playing so slow, but G2 up until this point haven't really needed to get aggressive. They've got Astra to slow down a lot of the plays. They've got Sage, and then a huge amount of information available to them off Sova and Sky. And then you got this
Oh
guy
my
who just
God.
peeks out and wrecks their whole team. 3 kills already for Nuki. He's been given the call that there's a player back on the other side. I think he wants to try and get himself the ace, but he has to be a little bit more careful. These shock darts from Coldamenta must be so annoying. They always seem to be on point.
Yeah, they do not miss their mark, that's for sure. Hoodie and Ambi left alive. Make that just Ambi. He was rotating around to help
That was
his
a
buddy.
nice,
Well,
counter.
it went B every single time, pretty much.
Oh, he was
Now the A
scoreboard.
attempt has not quite worked out. In fact, G2 pushing A worked out more. They pushed it twice this round.
10 seconds
Went
left.
down at the start with Nukia. And now we've got Kellogg's clearing out the rest alongside Coldamenta. They're about to go all the way through and find Ambi. The first kill's his and the second. And he's
What
still
the
going.
hell?
He's looking for this extra on the mix swap.
Okay.
And he lands that too. Great
Well.
exits for Ambi, farming up his ultimate and making
He's
sure
getting
that
some confidence.
at least it's going to be a costly round for G2. They're going to have to reinvest, but with only 2 rounds remaining, I'm not sure that that's really going to have any impact other than just him possibly having his Hunter's Fury enabled.
Has anybody thought about playing that guy on a duelist? That'd be a really good call.
It could be interesting. I wonder if he's ever thought about it.
Yeah, maybe on a previous team, something like that. Who knows? But yeah, Ambi, ridiculous individual skill. I do love when they sort of set him free a little bit. I think it's on Split, where he's allowed, or at least the map, to have his duelist back. But yeah, it's looking rough because at the moment they are just getting schooled. As said, in the majority of rounds, G2 are just happy to sit back, delay for as long as possible, and the executions from Giants, I'll be honest, just haven't really been good enough.
He's just shock darted him. Look where Ambi was, and he shock darted him from spawn, bouncing it down. That's sick. And it landed on him. That headbutt him. Oh my god. Which also, aside from the damage, worth pointing out, that cancelled his drone.
Yeah, basically made it worthless. So even the small investment
It's a pretty good
that they
shock
have
dart,
into
to be
this
honest,
round is not really
for
going
the
to garner
drone
them
spot.
very much. And again, we're getting into that sort of latter half of this round, and there is nothing. Like they have no map control. They haven't taken hookah. They're only just taking long, and the fact is, long
You only get
is
the
not
trick
being
shot call
battled
out
for
if you double
whatsoever.
bounce it.
It's just a completely passive hold. If they do go pushing
think
into
that
this
was a
side,
double.
they've got to
30
try
seconds
and
left.
get
This
past the utility of
such a
Astra, which is
precarious
going to pull them in.
position
That
for
flash was
Kellogg.
good
Oh.
though. It's pulled them off the spot. They've got actually
okay.
checked for hookah, and Kellogg's is
Never
just
mind.
able to
Leg shot and
destroy
B coming through.
One enemy
Well,
remaining.
They'll
that's
never
the
work
res
again.
back online right away for the final
Oh,
round.
what?
Meadow Getting a couple of little headies in there. It's a 1 versus 3.
I thought it was a
10
collab
seconds,
first.
though. That's the ultimate constraint.
No.
Ult to the head closes it out. So
I was
let's
like,
take
no
inventory
shot,
as
you
we
just
come
gotta
into the
collab
final
through the
round of the
wall.
half. We've got a res online for G2, Cosmic Divide as well. Over on the Vodafone Giants side, though, they do have lockdown. Last time we saw that successfully get them a site, and that was it. They got them a site, and then they lost the round immediately.
I think that's the thing that's been most disappointing so far for Giants is that they've had these, as I said, really high impact ultimates, and none of them have achieved anything. The Hunter's Fury used to try and open up, like they were expecting more aggressive positions, didn't do anything. Lockdown got them a plant, but they lost the retake. The same with pretty much everything that's going through for them at the moment. And Yuki, I think he's just realized, I can just get aggressive now. I can just take risks. That is my role for this map, and it's a role that, well, I'd find a player better at it, to be honest.
Orb control found, so they also have Hunter's Fury to work with. That was over on B long, and Nukia one away from ulti, coming up behind. He's flanking them out. That's Showstopper online. Double blast backs. He's not going to get it off, but David P is down at 17 HP. So a worthwhile trade, realistically.
Called a
And
Mentos,
again,
the
just the Battle of Nuki has left them wounded, scarred, and they've still got to try and fight the other 4 members of G2 before anything gets done. That's a nice little bait almost to try and get him a little bit off kilter as he pushes. Peek back in though, Kellogg's just isn't missing. He's doing a fantastic job as well, and they are smashing Giants. That was a stellar defensive half from G2.
You know what, man? I saw before we started the game, Carlos tweeted out, "Time to choke, come watch." That was before we started the first map. Maybe Carlos shouldn't tweet before the games. That's another call.
Is it just
you know?
everyone? If anyone who is anything to do with the team,
if you're related to the team, you know, maybe don't say you're gonna choke. You know, because maybe you will. but this time,
third map here.
this time it's all good. Things are looking very good. I mean, the defense has certainly been spectacular.
Yeah.
Now they push a little bit further. They're on the attacking side.
Why does David have a
For
G2 chair? He used to play for
winning
G2.
the pistol here. I mean, come on. I want to say it's going to guarantee them the game, a map that is, but based on what we saw earlier, based on what we saw in the last series, especially with Gambit Liquid, I want to withhold any sort of predictions on the future.
Oh, here we go. Interestingly, it actually is still looking like it's going to be Kellogg's taking the first fight, which, considering he's the one with the Sage Wall, it might be a little bit surprising. Oh, they've got the callback. Oh, the timing could have been nice there for Ambi, but he's actually going to get spotted out by the drone. Hoodie's been forced out of position as well. Kellogg's, after utilizing his wall, will fall, but the trades are back thick and fast once again. An easy afterplant already, Mitch.
Yep, it should be. It should be.
What is that wall?
Past the wall. It doesn't even cover
What's
up.
that wall?
You're hearing players close. Nukia ready.
That's the wall of
Nice.
No follow-up. There we go, though. As they push on out of the choke point, just mowed down, leaving Meadow to do it. A lot of these guys are low, but now Meadow joins the club. And Mixwell to finish him off. 10-3, double digits
exactly
for G2.
like the
And probably an eco out of
Liquid
Giants.
Gambit game.
This map
Yeah.
is looking like it might be over pretty soon.
We'll see.
Are we about to just mirror the last
Oh, he's
series?
literally
Is
saying
that-
it as
is that
well.
what's
Yeah,
happening?
yeah.
The middle map is just going to be an absolute stomp. Like
Ryan warned us of this. He said that we've already seen a series where both teams, you know, win their opponent's map pick. Evidently,
screw
that's
you,
what
Ryan.
we're going for. Yeah. Thanks a lot,
Ryan.
Mr. Poop Talker.
Yeah. If people didn't watch the desk, they're going to think you're very weird.
Yeah, Ryan likes to be referred to like that, just so you guys know for the future.
That is his nickname, other than birthday boy.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, we didn't wish him a happy birthday. We'll get that later. Spray downs. Kellogg's good for the first. Couple of players low, right down below, and they are dealing with them so easily. Jump shot just came out of Mixwell. Tried it again. Didn't quite work the second time, but hey, look, they're solid. They've got everything under control. You'd imagine. Just don't want to lose any more players at this point if you're G2.
Break their way through. Any extra damage would be nice, but in fact, it's actually going to be Kellogg's cleaning up the final kills. He's had a really good map. Like, I've been impressed. That said, I feel like it's one of those agents that duelists just still seem to thrive on. But it's been enjoyable to see him actually be able to delay teams quite a bit. Like, wall positioning is... Okay, there was one that was a little bit off, but it didn't really matter too much. And he's still taking a lot of the early fights. So, still just using it to almost try and just earn that res as quickly as possible. Nuki as well. Like, I will never not enjoy watching him on Raze. Like, it's never going to happen. Usually. No matter how long he is playing Valorant, I'm always going to enjoy watching him on that agent.
Not that many teams have hardware sponsors anymore.
Technical timeout
Kinda sucks.
pulled in here.
Damn it, Hypoc.
But do they then, like, but do the orgs still buy them stuff without
that's
sponsorship,
what this is.
I
Like,
guess?
Sometimes depends on the org and depends on how bad their hardware is, you know?
Yeah. Also depends on how, like, big of a profile you are. It's like,
he's done this to many people.
If you're like a pro player that also has a big social platform, then it's usually no problem to get gear as well.
You'll never get him again, will
But it's
you?
normally not from the org. The org will just
Then again, Tom, I mean, we
talk
had the
to
longest game in
a
VCT
manufacturer,
history,
and the manufacturer
so
will just send.
And that's pretty much
First, there's sour.
You have the answer? 1776? You got it.
And then there's sweet. Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone.
I'm gonna put that one on you. Maybe it's both of you. Maybe
Like,
I'm just cursed by being with both of you.
MSI
So
sent
that
you a
either way,
graphics
we're
card or
tech
something.
issues or whatever.
Unless
no,
we have, unless you have Alienware.
Because, you know, when there's a tech issue,
Yeah.
normally where we talk
Alienware
about the
is fucking
situation that's
insane.
going on in the game, all that sort of stuff. 11-3, Tom. I
PCs
mean,
are
like,
a
at
bit-
this point,
Huh?
it's gonna need nothing.
PCs,
Possible.
yeah.
And then we
Why?
get to go right back
It's
into the
the
game
hub
without
one.
having
It
to
is
talk
not
about
that
potentially
well
what
made,
Giants could
and
do to bring this
it's-
back. I think they're going to need a few players to come online.
A
because,
bit
I did
mismanaged
actually
on the
see-
inside.
I saw Lauren tweet that she
It's kind
was
of
really excited
People
to
who
see,
don't know anything about
Coutinho on this
PCs,
map,
who
and
just
now,
want the
well,
game, you know, that's fine.
He's not at the best of games, so maybe it was Lauren.
Mine
all
is
along.
doing well at least.
Oh, it could be. It could be. Nukia sending it onto David P. This is, again, a full
I think
buy
it's
with
gotten
Vodafone
better in
Giants.
recent
And
years,
so there's
where
a
they
rifle
don't
on the
just
floor to be
lock out
Yeah.
the users doing
There's
everything,
actually
you
two
know?
parts of this site. You might not know this. There's the main part, which where you plant.
Oh.
Yeah,
like
the screens
here
are still
normally,
insane. I really
where
want.
the attackers are. And then there's the part where the defenders are
I
at.
want to
Mixwell forgot about that bit, but it looks like he finally found it. Going back in for 3K. And,
Do you want to send me one?
yeah, on paper, G2 probably get, what, 2 kills,
send you
3
one.
kills, and that's a good
Shut up.
round. Instead, a completely rollover Vodafone Giants taking the site
Jesus.
and doing it easily. They made that look like Vodafone Giants were eco.
So Ascent is a map that actually G2
It is
have
a
had
map,
some
yeah.
pretty decent results on. Didn't do too well against like I feel like I might as well just start doing the analyst desk. We'll give them a head start. So yeah, and then if you go over and have a look, oh, a close 15-13 victory over Guild. Some really close games coming out for Giants on that map. So I think that's going to be a close one. Over to you, Ryan. Oh wait, that's me. Anyway,
That's you,
carrying
yeah.
on. We're going to have them now try and take some hookah control. There's a judge there!
See the judge
careful,
back the
Mixwell.
fuck up.
Yeah, I know.
They're being cautious
I'm
for a
out
moment,
of
waiting
there.
for the repeat to come out for these players to get a little
People
bit
have a
itchy.
lot of respect
Go
for
out
the
for a
judge.
swing. There's actually 3 inside of hookah and 1 on the B site. G2 have decided at 12-3. 12-3, Tom. After they smashed Vodafone Giants on their full buy, they faked it. And
I
they
like
have
it.
hard faked
Nice.
it. There are so many players here for, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? There's a solo player out in the B site killing everyone. Kellogg's is just destroying a Vova in with another. This is, if you screen grab this, it looks just a mini map. It'll be a death match, only for the spike is there. And now
Look at that, they're
it's just
still
Hoodie
dealing
and
with
Fatino to
Kellogg's.
try and close this out. It
Fighting
is
Kellogg's!
they're fighting,
They're
yeah.
winning! What?
It's planted on the other side of the site. Kellogg's literally lurked, but he didn't really. He just walked out long
Oh
and
my
killed
god,
everyone.
what a map,
13-3. Well,
Hello,
we could have just
Tokichi.
not come
True.
back in after the technical pause. This has been a lightning
One
round
more
of
for them.
Valorant. Speed
Uno
running
mas.
bind. G2 have taken it, and now we'll go all the way to map 3 of Ascent Top. Well, I have to say,
All right, let's watch some more Daily Dose. I'm just gonna go pee while this one is running. Are you still here, Aker?